Today I want to talk about teams. With the relaunch of our Blueprint for a Brilliant Team recently, I've started to think quite a lot about what's going on in terms of the teams that I'm working with and also the people who are in that programme who are talking to me about their teams. And it occurs to me that what we regard as a team has changed quite a lot over the years. If I go back in time, my earliest memories of work, being part of a team meant that we all worked in the same place and we all worked on the same thing. We were regularly in contact with each other. We had a boss who was there with us all of the time and was keeping a guiding hand on what was going on. But fast forward into the present day, and what I now call my team is a bunch of people who work at different locations scattered around the UK. They don't all work all of the time for Brilliant Minds. They work on different things as well, so they're not always there and available when I might want to talk to them. And they all bring different types of skills to the party, and they all do different kinds of work. So in what sense can we say that that bunch of people is a team? It's an interesting question, isn't it? A lot of the teams that I work with now are in very similar kind of circumstances, that people are not all on the same site. They might be scattered around several sites within the same city. They might be scattered between cities. They might even be in different countries around the globe. So creating some kind of sense of team is much more of a challenge than it would be in the old days when a team generally sat together and worked together. So what do you think it is that makes people feel like they're part of a team? Now, the theory says that having a common goal is what makes a group of people into a team instead of just a group of people. So in theory, if you have some kind of shared goal and you're all working towards it, then that will bond you together. But I think if people are not actually seeing each other on a day-to-day basis, it takes a bit more than that to create a team. It takes more than that for people to feel like they're really part of something instead of just being loosely connected with other people who are working on something similar. So I think that what makes a team in the modern world is actually a sense of belonging to something that has meaning for people. I don't think that people really get a sense of team unless they're doing something that touches them in some way that is actually meaningful and important to them. In other words, where there are shared values. So a person's values are an expression of what's most important to them. They're connected to their emotional well-being. So when someone's values are fulfilled, they feel good about it. When their values are not being fulfilled, they might either feel bored, disaffected, disengaged, or they might actually start to feel very irritated or angry because in some way their values are being violated. So I think that what makes a team in the modern world, a team that's scattered far and wide but nonetheless feels like a team, is when people have values that they share. Because that gives a sense that you know what to expect from other people that you work with. It gives a sense that the same things are important to everyone. And of course the challenge for that is that not many of us know our own values, let alone the values of other people that we work with. So here's a suggestion for you. Next time you're having a meeting of some kind with the team that you're part of, whether that's a conference call or a face-to-face meeting or however you normally communicate, what about asking people, so what's really important to you about the work that you do? You might be surprised at what you find out. You might also be surprised about how that affects the way that people feel about being part of that team. Have fun.